Before my injury, my main focus of riding was purely freestyle. Trying to push my level itself as well as push the level of kiteboarding in terms of not just the spin, but to have fun on the water and still make it look good. The day that I crashed and tore my knee was probably one of the better freestyle sessions I've had in a long time in Cape Town. The wind was pretty strong, I was still on a 13 meter. Landing all my tricks throughout the session, the stroke level was super high. Throughout the session I was getting pretty tired, and at the end of it, you know how they go, that you always want to do one more trick and then you're going to get out, and it just happened to be that one where I was going for back mob 5 and did the first rotation and kind of backed out of the trick. Felt like it was a bit of a weird pop. Once I got the results back with a torn ACL, I still couldn't believe it. I kind of just sat there with my parents and wasn't too sure where I was going, what I was going to do. I immediately contacted my trainer that I've been with for the past few years. He immediately told me that I needed to start physio. So I contacted Debbie, who's one of the best physios in Cape Town. We started our physio there from around 8 weeks of physio. Probably the hardest experience ever, basically learning how to walk again and just not being who I am, just have to be stuck on crutches and not even walking, can't run, can't mess around with my mates, just stuck on 2 sticks on either side of me that limit me to so much movement.
So Aaron was a superstar in his rehabilitation. He didn't come with an attitude. It's very difficult with people who are used to doing excessive training and working up a sweat just to do the very simple basic exercises, and actually that's the key in the first 6 weeks. Just get the swelling down and activate the correct muscles, get good range of movement, and he just followed everything to the T. At one stage there was a little bit of swelling on the outside of the knee. We just pulled it back a little bit. He was willing to just listen, and at 6 weeks he was absolutely brilliant and he never looked back from there. So that's the key to the first 6 weeks and to the rehabilitation. Just follow what the professionals are saying. Don't go on the internet and look at what everybody else is doing. Just focus on the basics. The latter part of the rehabilitation is so much easier if you have the building blocks.
And after 8 weeks leading into the proper rehab process, day in and day out, 3 times a week, as well as doing stuff at home by myself.
Yeah, the first session back with Aaron after surgery was quite an interesting one. I think it was a comfort knowing that I had worked with Aaron before, doing conditioning. We had also done isokinetic testing. So we had values of where Aaron was pre-injury. So we knew exactly where we had to work to. But first session coming in, Aaron was confident, but I could see he was quite hesitant towards obviously moving and things like that, taking off the brace. I could see his emotional state was down quite a bit. And building confidence was going to be one of our more important factors, along with strength, function, etc.
We continued that for about 8 months to 9 months, and then slowly started getting back on the water. The wind is nuking. Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous, but you know what, we put in the hard work. Yeah, for the first session back to be at the end of the winter storms and to get the last neck of it it's been quite scary to think about the day before, but I mean we've prepared everything and we're ready, so let's just hope we can send it and really just get most out of the session. So the first session, it was just like pure stoke. I was so over the moon with how the session went, just like to be back on the water, and now that just motivated me more to keep pushing and to keep training harder to get back to where I was.
So during phase 1 and 2 of our rehab, at least the first half, it was all straight lines, trying to gain as much strength as we could in Aaron's knee. That's one of the major faculties of ACL rehabilitation, is quadriceps strength. We added in a lot of proprioception and balance, is that awareness of where your knee is in space. On the kite, on a surfboard, you need a lot of awareness of where you are. If you're going to land blind, you need that idea of where your knee is, and working through that to absorb forces. If you can't absorb those forces, your risk of injury is sky high, so we needed to work through that.
Throughout the whole process, it was extremely hard for me to stay positive and to not let my mind wander to negative thoughts and what ifs and I'm not coming back from this, and it put me in some pretty dark spaces. It actually really messed up a lot of relationships that I had in my life with friends and even family, as I just couldn't even identify who I was anymore, as I'd surrounded my whole life around being in the water and around a single action of kiteboarding, and that was it. I woke up and checked the wind, planned my day around that. Now I was waking up and not being able to check the wind because it actually just put me in such a bad space to be having to find something else to fill my days with.
Yeah, so Aaron's mental state coming into the sessions and actually going through the sessions of the 9 to 12 months. We started off, and Aaron, as I mentioned, Aaron was quite reserved, as any athlete would be after a big injury like this. There's always that fear of, what if I can't come back? And throughout the sessions, Aaron kept asking me questions, feeling a little pain here, a little pain there, not feeling it as strong as he usually does. We had good weeks, we had bad weeks, but Aaron always tried to build up that level of understanding of his knee, and I think that's one of the, not a nice thing of an injury, but you gain that idea of where you are, and a bit more awareness of your body. Instead of just going out, blasting it out day by day, actually taking a bit of notes and saying, listen, is this pain actually something I need to be worried about, or can I actually work through this?
After opening up to my family and friends, it was nice to have Graham there, who was really nice to chat to regarding the whole process. He actually gave me a call the one day and we sat down and had a chat about everything. He really helped me to understand the little goals and the little stepping stones that really help you to stay motivated, and also just the ins and outs of what's to come and the whole process through the injury.
There's definitely a massive problem with mental health with extreme sports and the sports we do. Everyone's just quite frankly terrified to speak about it or open up about it. The fear of being judged by people in your industry or your sponsors, or keeping that profile of what you put online to everyone and what people expect for you, being a competitive winner. So I think, yeah, definitely people are not speaking about it, and it's becoming a big problem in the industry. You can see people struggling, and hopefully through these conversations and these videos, people can open up a bit more about it, because it's the most important thing. Your mind is mind injuries are as important as physical injuries. So to be able to talk about it and be open about it is definitely a must in our sport.
Coming back to the few sessions where I actually felt very comfortable on the water was a huge goal for me. Pump the kite, be in the element. Just to know that my body's ready for what I can throw at it, and now I'm ready to push my body to the limit. After this whole journey that I've been through, it's really shaped me into the person I am now. It's made me learn a lot about myself physically and mentally. It's made me open up to different aspects of my life I never even knew that I would go into. Now that I'm feeling motivated and comfortable again, I'm excited to get back out there and I'll just create some cool content and see what's next to come.